Hello, today is November 7th, 2020, and the time is 8:04 p.m. Just been sitting here watching the snow and cold wind blowing and thinking about my life, mostly my childhood. And it's almost a year now that I learned that I survived being aborted, and I guess I was just thinking about, as a little kid, I never knew that. I guess I was never wanted, and I realized there was issues at home as a descriptive. And I remember, well, part of it has to do with my mother having issues all her life. Can't really blame her for that. And my father, well, he had his own things to deal with, but I guess trying to deal with my mother. I just remember as a little kid, 1, 2, 3 years old, running around, playing, being happy, telling my mother and father that, I love them. And I did, and I still do. My father passed away 2013, and I still love my mother despite everything. And as I was getting older, always being threatened to be shipped somewhere, taken away or whatever, I guess I just never, I think what really hurts reflecting on my childhood now is not really knowing, or not putting two and two together. And I wonder why I didn't. I know people are going to say, well, you were just a kid, how could you? But I don't know. And I always, there was good times with both my parents. They had their own issues between them. I don't know. I can't help but thinking about, just going to school and being happy to see my mom and her Christmas cookies, and not really understanding, not knowing how I came into this world, and not understanding at the time what was going on. It wasn't until my young adult years and different points in my life, like early this year, where I really was able to put it all together. I guess I always thought, despite everything, all the trauma and abuse that I endured, I always thought there was some normalcy there with, the love that a parent or parents have for their child. And I don't know, just put things into perspective, this year, thinking about everything. And I don't know. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you, the world. I guess I always knew, even as a little kid, that there was something missing. And I remember as a kid, and I mentioned this in a few other personal vlog videos, where even as a little kid, I wanted a home and a family and kids. And well, look at my life now. But anyway, just thinking about remembering I remember as a little kid, first day in kindergarten and going to school and being so happy to see my mom. And back then we used to, even in kindergarten, walk ourselves to school and back home. Didn't have far to walk, I guess, but people weren't as paranoid as they are today. I don't know, just thinking. But I do remember, as I said in a couple of videos where I talk about woo-woo or spiritual, and they're two different things. Just trying to think. I know where we were living and how old I would have been. And I would have been just before 2 years old, between 1 and 2 years old. This one particular series of events, I remember, and I can never explain the spiritual or the woo-woo prior to my 5th year, the first time that I drowned. And there was another time when I was around 12 years old. But now it makes sense, the spiritual and woo-woo stuff prior to 5 years old. And I remember I wasn't 2 years old being, now some of you are going to think this is crazy, but visited by, as a descriptive I would call now, an angelic individual. And I remember at the time as a little kid telling my mother about this, and she said she called her a witch to stay away. But this angelic individual has been with me all my life, and not just one individual, but this is a primary individual. And I remember her talking to me and by asking her, why me? And she answered, but very pleasant, very a lot of peace. It was peaceful and caring and love. So yeah, it was between 1 and 2 years old when this series of events took place. And I remember the answer kind of made me sad, but I guess for whatever reason, here I am. But yeah, just sitting here. It's very cold, very windy, snow's blowing, and kind of a little while ago just got a little emotional about all this, but not, I don't even know how to put it to words. Like, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, how something like all this would impact someone. But despite everything, I still push through life, always trying to achieve more. I've accomplished a lot throughout my life, and in the end, here I am. Anyway, for whatever it's worth, I'm just sharing some thoughts. And somebody had asked me, it's one of my recent videos, about why do I still talk to my mother after everything. And I haven't, she stopped communicating with me, I think it was sometime in July. I haven't heard from her, so I just kind of accepted that. But my response was, I do still love my mother despite everything. And you know, when you hear people who have, somebody has caused them a tragedy in their life, whether it be by accident or something deliberate, and they lose somebody or whatever, and the odd person or family will come forward and say that, you know, they forgive this individual for whatever the harm was. And a lot of people, especially when you start reading comments, they're like, how can you? And it's just all emotion, anger, and everything else. And everyone's out for vengeance and blood. But I understand these people who forgive these other people, because you can't go through life hanging on to negativity. And that's what's gotten me through life, was really my positive attitude, pushing forward. Learning from mistakes. We all make mistakes. And going through some serious trials and tribulations in life, you know. It is what it is. And you have to let go of the negativity and just keep moving forward. So, anyway, if anyone's wondering, I'm okay. Just thinking. A lot of time to think. But it does put things in perspective for me, anyway. My childhood, and I guess really not knowing, looking back, not knowing, but I did know what I know now. So anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.